Hey sunshines, it is the 15th of August. It's a Saturday. I have a hair in my mouth, gross, and we are in the library parking lot. I have some books to return, so I'm going to show them to you real quick. Hi Gabriel. No, there he is. So I'm going to show you those real quick. So in the order I finished them. Selkie Girl by Lori Brooks. It was okay. The cover is misleading because at no point is she like a half fish sort of thing. Please excuse my messy floor. Patrick uses my car and does not keep it clean. Also, those cans are his. That's a battle for a different day. So yeah, this cover is misleading. But the title, Selkie Girl, is not misleading. So I was a little disappointed because of the cover, but overall the story was okay. I think I just wasn't in the mood for that sort of story. It was historical, definitely not set in modern times. Does it say when it's set? I don't think so. No. So, yeah, it wasn't bad. It just wasn't what I wanted based on the cover. And then, Song of Wraiths and Ruin. This was really, really good. If you like Children of Blood and Bone, yes, and Children of Virtue and Vengeance, this reminds me a lot of that. It is also based in Africa, and it follows a princess and a boy. There is secret magic. Does this sound familiar? Kind of is. There's a plot against the royal family. So yeah, I got a lot of Children of Virtue and Vengeance vibes out of this, but the writing style is really, really good. I enjoyed it a lot. I'm definitely going to be looking out. This is definitely the first book in a series or a trilogy. I'm not sure. I will be looking out for the second and third, but it's a new book. It just came out earlier this year. So I'll definitely be looking for the second book maybe next year. I don't know, I have not done my research on that one. A Dream So Dark. This is the second book from the Nightmareverse series or trilogy or whatever it's going to be, or maybe it's just a duology. It didn't really leave off on a cliffhanger like A Blade So Black did. This is by L.L. McKinney. Very, very good. Did I say A Song of Wraiths and Ruin was by Roseanne A. Brown? I don't think I did. So yeah, definitely really like this. The back of the book says it is like a cross between Alice in Wonderland and Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and it totally is. Highly recommend this. And then last up, I finished this last night. American Spy. Very, very good. Highly enjoyable. I read this as part of the Shelby and the Book Club. And I like it a lot. Not necessarily enough that I will actively seek out this author. Not because it wasn't good, it's just because it isn't the type of story that I would normally go for. Spies are not really my thing.
Spies are never your thing.
That's true. But I did enjoy this. I'm glad that the book club is getting me to step out of my comfort zone. And now I'm going to return these books and get the book for next month's book club and probably like 5 or 6 others because, you know, I can't go into the library and get just... Hey sunshines. This is my mask mark from, I'm leaving my knit group, socially distanced of course, with masks. And I'm getting ready to run to the library to return some things. So let's talk about all these books that I've read that I haven't recorded about. I don't know. You think this would be easier for me to do, but apparently not. Before that, my roof is finished. My car is working great because those are the things that I talked about in July, right? So my car is fine. My roof is finished. I still need to get the gutters set up for that, but I have an estimate. I just need to call and make the appointment. So yeah, those are two big stressors that are gone. I am feeling quite stressed about school, which is starting in a week and a half. And it's a little bit up in the air what's going on still. The school is super, super prepared, but like, I just don't know yet what the days of online from home are going to look like what the schedule is going to look like. And I don't know which days of the week my kids are going, because they're going 2 days a week. So I don't know if they'll be going on Monday, Tuesday, or Thursday, Friday. And it's not a big deal. I just like to know things. So that's kind of stressing me out a little bit. So yeah. I do have a bunch of knitting that I will record, probably not today because the lighting's not really great. It was raining all morning and now it's kind of cloudy, but if the sun comes out, I might record the things that I've finished this month then, and I'll probably talk about my current whip. Well, I'll talk about it a little. I'm making the little Lil Narcat by Stephanie Latvin. It is a sweater pattern with an intarsia narwhal on the front. It's super, super cute, and the lady who works at the knit shop is super nice and just gave me a bunch of scraps left over from her temperature blanket, because I'm using Cascade 220. That's what my niece picked out for her sweater. And Lil Narcat has lots of different little pieces with color. So I have the two main colors, but then I needed scrap pieces, not scrap, like leftover pieces for some other color panels. And she happened to have a whole bunch of 220 because she made a temperature blanket last year, and she just finished it a couple weeks ago. Finally finished it. I helped her put a crochet border on it. It was a knit blanket, so that was fun. Anyway, yeah, let's talk about these books so I can head out and return them to the library and pick up the things that I have on hold at the library. I'm really not feeling going to the library today because, you know, we can't actually, by we, I mean me and people in my area. I can't hang out at the library. I can run in and get the books that I have on hold, and I can, you know, peruse the stacks, but there's no seating anywhere, so I can't like chill, which is bumming me out. But yeah, I have a couple books on hold, and I'm gonna see if they have another book that I want in, and I'll grab that too. Even though right at this minute I have 26 books out, and I'm returning 7. But of those 26 books, I think 6 or 7 of them are the kids' books, so they don't really count. It's totally normal to have like 10 books, 10 to 15 books on your library queue, right? That you're gonna read. I have been reading like 10 books a month, so these are not in the order that I read them. They are in the order that they are being pulled out of my bag. So, Kingdom of Souls by Rena Barron. Very, very good. Young adult. There's magic in it. It's set in Africa. Very different than, I mean, of course, similar to the other books that have been set in the same place. Like, what did I read a couple weeks ago? I don't remember. And it's also like Virtue, Children of Virtue and Vengeance, and Children of Blood and Bone. Very like reminiscent of that sort of thing. But different, completely on its own. I really, really like it. I like this better than the book that I read last week, that I talked about last week. I like it better than that for sure. And it definitely seems like there could be more books in a series of this, and I would for sure read them. There's a lot of complex family relationships dealt with in this, and the world building is really good. Yeah, I really like this one. I'm sorry if this recording of books is less good than past ones have been. I'm feeling kind of off today. I think it's because it was raining all day. But anyway, I reread The Air by Kira Cass, which is the fourth book in the Selection series. I just wanted something simple to read, like a reread, so that I could flush out my brain of all the information because I've been reading so much recently. And I remembered the first three books in the Selection series pretty well, but I didn't remember the fourth and fifth. So I have the fourth one. The fifth one is one of those books that's on my stack of books from the library right now. And I'll read that next time I feel that I want to read, but I don't want to read something new. I really like this series. It's dystopian YA, which I read a ton of dystopian YA probably like 7 years ago. And this was one of the series that I read when I went through those books. I really like this series. But I'm disappointed in this cover because she is very clearly like white, like European white, and the main character is described as having tan skin that is tan all year round. So like not white. So that's a little disappointing. One of the books for Shelby in the book club was Lovecraft Country by Matt Ruff. So good. So creepy. I've never actually read anything by H.P. Lovecraft, but I had a boyfriend in high school who was really into it, so I know a little bit of the lore. And this book has some of those monsters in there and doors that appear out of nowhere, and it's really scary, but it also deals with racism in the 1950s. The main characters are mostly black. It's really good. Really scary. I only read it during daylight because I have an overactive imagination. I highly recommend this. It is currently a series running on HBO. It's a couple episodes in. I don't have HBO, so I'm not watching it, but I would be interested in watching it. Really good. Even if you're not a super fan of horror, I would recommend picking it up. I read No House to Call My Home by, where's the author? Oh, at the top, Ryan Berg. It is the stories of homeless youth in New York, or living in the foster care system, LGBTQ, and Ryan was a caseworker. Is that right? I don't remember what his titles were, but he worked in the group homes with these kids. It is heartbreaking. Also a very good read. I read Twisted, The Tangled History of Black Hair Culture by Emma DeBerry. Very good. Well researched. Talks about hair culture in Africa, in the United States, in the UK. The author was raised in Ireland for the most part. She is mixed, so she has anecdotes about her life. It's really good. A lot of information. I picked this up specifically because I work in a school that has a very diverse student population, and I felt like I could use more information about black hair. Even though I had friends growing up and, we would play with each other's hair, I feel like I could learn more. I had black friends growing up. This sounds awful. This whole recording, this whole soundbite, I'm leaving it. So yeah, I've braided black hair before, but I felt like I could know more about it, especially working in a setting with students whose hair has different requirements from mine. And that, like, you would think as a lunch aide that doesn't really matter, but it kind of matters when little girls' hair falls out, not falls out, like the hair bands fall out and they need help fixing it. And I've heard some less than stellar things said to black students about their hair in the school building. So I felt like it was a gap in what I knew. I read Winterwood by Shay Earnshaw, which I read The Wicked Deep last month, I think. This was really good. It is about a witch who lives in a forest. Her family has lived in the same house for like ever. And they're all witches. There is a murder mystery element to the story. I found it pretty predictable. Like, I knew what was going on really early on in the story, but not in a bad way. So highly recommend Shay Earnshaw if you like things that are just a little bit creepy. But I read this in less than 24 hours, and I read it while it was still dark out. And last on my list is Of Curses and Kisses by Zendaya Menon, which is okay. It's a young adult romance based on Beauty and the Beast, kind of. It takes place in a boarding house. It was enjoyable. I think it's the first book in a series. I would consider getting the next book in the series, testing it out. Yeah, it wasn't like my favorite thing that I read this month, but it also wasn't terrible. And I'm going to have at least 2 more books to talk about by the end of the month. So I'll show you them when I finish them or on the last day of the month. Hey, fellow parents. How are you? I am rough right this minute. So my kids are going to go to school in person on a hybrid system. They'll be going 2 days a week. I just got their day assignments, so they'll be in school in person on Tuesday, Thursday, which means Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, they will be doing things online, but that I don't know about how the school year is working, like arrival dismissal, and what school supplies they need, and what the policy is going to be next, and so many things I have questions about, and how my job is going to look. So I'm super, super stressed. How are you? Let me know. Cinderella is Dead by Kaylin Bayron. The story takes place 200 years after the ball where Cinderella meets Prince Charming, and it is definitely dystopian YA fiction. The king is a horrible monarch. There are systems in place where women are second-class citizens, and their worth is tied to the head of their household, and at any time the head of the household can forfeit them to the crown, which turns them into chattel. So at any time, the head of the household can forfeit anyone in their family to the crown, which turns them even less than human. So yeah, it's a really, really good. This is Sophia. She is part of the uprising. This is Heather from the future and from the noisy house to talk about All Boys Aren't Blue. I do not remember the author's name of this book, but it should be on screen right now. During editing, I realized that the clip that I originally talked about this book has disappeared, so I will try to tell you about it as best I can. It is kind of a memoir manifesto, and it was written by the author so that other queer Black boys would have something to identify with. Specifically written for young adults because when he was growing up, he did not have any sort of resource like this. It was really good, very heartbreaking. Right at the intro, the author tells you that there are some trigger warnings, there is racially triggered violence, there is coarse language, the N word is used throughout the book, there is sexual assault. There's a lot going on in this book, but it is such a worthwhile read, even if you're not a queer boy. Very, very good. It talks a lot about family and relationships and just a really, really worthwhile read. I highly, highly recommend this book. It's probably in my top 3 books that I've read this month. It is late-ish on the night of the 28th, and I hope you can hear me fine over my fan. I finished The Crown by Kira Cass, and it was just what I needed it to be, something light and easy to read. I've already read it, so I already knew the story. Just kind of I needed a break today. I just really, really needed a break from everything. I'm stressing out over school and stuff. Which starts back in 2 weeks. So yeah, this was a good break and a good wrap up to the selection series, which I highly recommend. Hey everyone! So it is the 31st of August. I guess I should probably show you what I've been working on this month. I currently only have one active whip, which is this. This is the Little Narcat by Stephanie Lotvin. Tully Beans Knits, and I'm kind of making the size 12. So all of my numbers for this are the size 12, the chart is the size 12, but I did not do a gauge swatch because I was like, it'll be fine. I also didn't go down a needle size from what the pattern says, which I always go down a needle size, almost always go down a needle size when I'm knitting sweaters because my gauge is just loose. So even though this is supposed to be the size 12, this sweater actually fits me. But I think it will be fine because my niece she's really skinny, but she's tall, and she'll be 12 at the end of October. I'm going to give this to her for her birthday. And she will probably get boobs and hips fairly soon. So she'll have some growing room for this. And if she doesn't like it, then I will take it back. Anyway, let's get into detail. The pattern calls for US size 5 needles for ribbing, which I had to borrow from the lady at my knit shop, the lady who works there, Karen, and size 8 for the body. I used Cascade wool. My niece picked it out. She picked out the main body color and the narwhal color, and then Karen from the yarn shop, she did a temperature blanket out of the same yarn, and she did it last year, but she just finished, weaving in the ends and stuff a couple weeks ago because she wanted to put a crocheted border on it and she didn't know how to go about that, so we had to wait until we could meet in person so I could show her how to do that. Anyway, so all of these colors are from her. I don't know any of these color names, but they are, you can probably find them. You can figure them out pretty easily. Anyway, I am getting pretty close on this sweater. I have this many decreases finished on the sleeve. I have this many to go on the sleeve, and then I think about 5 inches of straight, and then some ribbing. So that, and then I have the neckband to do, and then this sweater will be finished, and I can give it to my niece for her birthday, which is super far away. I started this last week Wednesday, so this is day 5 day 5 or day 6 of sweater knitting. Day 6 of knitting on this sweater. I am hoping to finish it by Wednesday morning because I'm borrowing the needles for ribbing from Karen, and she is leaving the yarn shop. Friday is her last day, which has me really bummed because she's kind of the reason I go to social, because I really, really like hanging out with her. I'm like, everybody else is okay, but Karen's my favorite. So I kind of feel like I might be losing my social group, my knit social group. I don't know. Like, I don't know if I still want to go if she's not going to be there. It's tough. I'll have to decide that later. Anyway, this sweater is really well written. Some things that I did not to pattern is I did not read the instructions all the way. So these eyes and this mouth stuff are supposed to be duplicate stitched on. I did not do that. I worked them in Tarja. The horn, I worked 2 stitches too wide until I got up to this color and I was like, wait a second, this is only supposed to be 5 stitches across, why is it 7? And I went back and counted and I was like, oh, because I didn't pay attention when I started. So I did an extra little decrease in the pink section up here. I think it's fine. The sweater also has a cute little tail in intarsia on the back, and all of this will look so much neater once it is blocked. I know that for a fact. And also I have all of the ends to weave in. I haven't done that yet. I've only woven in one end because on the sleeve it has you do a sewn bind off. So since I had my needle in anyway, I did that. So yeah, that is my only active whip right now. I have also been working on my scrappy blankets a little bit here and there. So here is my first finish. I don't remember what I finished first, but my first finish of the month. These are loosely based on a pattern called Charade. I don't remember who wrote it, but I'll try to remember to put it at the bottom of the screen. It's a free pattern on Ravelry, but it's done on a stockinette background instead of a ribbed background. I decided to keep it ribbed just because. It's a really simple 2-row repeat. I didn't want to not highlight the stripes, but I did want to throw some texture on it. And the yarn is from a local to me dyer called Little Bay Blue, and she is pretty new. So I liked the pattern, I liked the yarn, good combination, really simple. I knit most of this while reading. I also knit a hat. This is Turn a Square by Jared Flood, knit out of Lunabud Knits. This may look sort of familiar because I have made this exact same pattern with this exact same yarn. This is the TARDIS colorway and it's a sport weight yarn. So yeah, I have made this hat before, this exact hat. But when my car was out of commission, Patrick's boss picked him up and dropped him off every day for work, every day for 3 weeks. So Patrick was like, oh, I'm getting you something great for Christmas, and somehow his boss knows I knit. Everybody he works with knows that I knit because he likes to brag about my stuff because I make cool stuff. And his boss was like, oh, could she make me a hat? So I made him a hat, and yeah, Patrick said he likes beanies and he's not super flashy and he likes blue and gray and black. So hopefully he likes this, and if not, I'll make him a solid color beanie. And I made another hat. This is Tritine, which is a pattern by me. You can see it's got the 1, 2, 3 cables going on. It still needs a button. I just blocked it though, so it's still damp. And yeah, Tritine, it's a pattern written by me, Heather Laws. This was also knit a lot while I was walking. Not also, I don't think I had another walking project. Well, I did walk a lot with the socks. But this was knit mostly while I was walking because this pattern over here is only 4-row repeat, and the cables are what, maybe a 10-row repeat, 12, I don't remember exactly, but very simple and very intuitive. I did alter the pattern a little. In the pattern, this is on a garter stitch background. I just left it stockinette background the same as this. So yeah, I just need to find a button, and this will be fully finished once it's dry.